Hello, guys. Welcome to another week and another Lower Decks. Disco Bears Bowley Go, Disco Decks, Lower Decks in review. Let's just keep adding words into this title.
Yeah, with colons, because you can never have enough colon.
So we're looking at Lower Decks today, episode 3. Bitch, I had it up, but I seemingly closed it.
Serves you right for trying to do prep. Our motto is no preparation.
Yeah. Yes. We'll always have Tom Paris. So this week, okay, again, I probably need to put these warnings in a little bit earlier. Spoilers for episode 3 of Lower Decks, season 2. We'll always have Tom Paris,
which at this point will have been out for 8 days. So, not really too sorry if you accidentally see it. You see the spoilers.
Hey, some people like to binge.
Yeah, some people do like to binge.
A spoiler warning is always considerate.
Correct, yes. A spoiler warning is always considerate. Before we start, this show is totally not brought to you by new Bourneville fingers.
Oh.
I know. Found them new on the shelf at work today.
They feel like the kind of thing that only that would never hit the main retail outlets, but occasionally a place like your place or B&M.
What do you mean, not main? I think the place that I work has almost as many units as yours.
Which we won't be mentioning where I work, but the big four.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I came to a conclusion the other day. Lidl is to Aldi what Sainsbury's is to. Which doesn't matter. Let's carry on. Supermarkets in Britain, they're interesting.
That's actually rather nice.
Yeah, I do love a Cadbury finger.
Well, I mean, obviously, I can't eat them. I'm allergic to milk. So I've never had one. But that was quite pleasant.
Bourneville. I might be mixing up my chocolate. Is Bourneville one that has a slight rumminess to it?
No.
That was old Jamaica, wasn't it?
Yeah. Bourneville is Cadbury's dark chocolate that I don't think it used to be a Cadbury's product, but it was.
It's been a Cadbury's product as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, I mean, I think it
it's always been a Cadbury's product. It's got to have been. It's named after the place Cadbury is.
I think they were technically separate entities.
I bet they were owned by the same company.
I bet they were, yeah. And
it's named after the factory.
Yeah. Either way.
That said, have you seen Cadbury has introduced their own Caramac?
I'm sure they own it, don't they?
No, Nestlé's Caramac, I'm sure.
But then who owns Cadbury now? I can't remember.
Not Nestlé. It's owned by same people who own Dairy Milk, isn't it? Kraft. Caramac is Nestlé. But yeah, so it's called Caramilk. I believe it was an Australian thing that they've now brought over here. Because I found a bar of it in B&M, and B&M has a lot of Australian Cadbury products in stock. B&M gets whatever it can find off the back of a lorry. That's generally what they do.
Yeah.
Which is why you can find tons and tons of original series Star Trek action figures, because that's what the kids want.
It is. But I mean,
you can get a full set of Rafa Khan, Bones, Kirk, and Spock, and they're modern interpretations of the old Mego style figures. You know, the ones that are that tall and more like dolls than figures.
Yeah.
And cloth clothes and stuff like that. And maybe,
cool.
And maybe you could get a Gorn if you look hard enough.
Wow.
Yeah, just B&M is full of them.
Well, maybe I'll go to B&M this weekend and treat myself.
Well, the past one, I do occasionally pop into one just see I wonder what toys I want to buy in here.
Yeah.
Because it's the kind of place that's here's a weirdly missing box of these. It was damaged in a warehouse somewhere, so B&M have got it. And we've got hundreds of these. There's tons of... you have a Fantastic Four robot, Herbie.
Yes.
Just pop figures of him as well that have obviously not sold somewhere or have just been found in the back of a warehouse, and again end up in B&M, which stands for bargains and
Mothers.
is that it?
No. I was making it up. I was just implying it's a good place to pick up lonely housewives.
Well, I was always disappointed when
which is what James does on a daily basis.
No, it's not.
He goes in, gets his original series Star Trek dolls, and takes a choice lonely mother home.
That is slander.
It is, but I mean, he can't prove either way because he doesn't have cameras that follow him all day long, or at least access to the CCTV, so he can't prove it. So I'm going to say that happens.
You're as bad as tabloid newspapers.
I am.
And on that note, let's get on with the episode.
Yes, why not? Well, I mean, we have mentioned Star Trek.
Yeah.
It was in
so
an odd tangent.
This episode not only has an A and a B plot, but also has a C plot.
Yes.
3 whole plots jammed into this episode.
Minutes.
That meme where it's like, the guy at the car, it's like, you can't imagine how many things we can fit in this. Yeah, picture that meme. So,
James bringing memes to the table again, because he's so down with the kids.
My memes are probably not the kind of memes that the kids are down with. Like, my memes are probably fiercely millennial memes.
Cancelled? Would it get you properly cancelled? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just.
Is it? You're just too old.
I'm just a millennial at my core.
Yeah, I mean, you are a true millennial, age-wise. You fit right in the middle of it. So.
I am not one of the younger ones or the elder ones, like old people like you.
Yeah.
I
think technically I'm a zennial, James. We've had this discussion.
I prefer the term elder millennial. How old are you next week? This week? Next week?
The day before this airs is my 39th birthday.
Oh, I had you a year younger. I had you at 38.
Yeah. So
I missed a year somewhere.
Yeah.
I imagine if you're anything like I walked up a hill earlier in the week, and my knee did not like it the day after.
My knee is just angry at me at the moment. I have a bad knee anyway. I injured it fairly badly when I was 21. It's never quite recovered properly. But yeah, for whatever reason recently, it's just been shocking. Absolutely shocking. I can't lie in my front. Can't even lie in my front because my knee's like, no. Too much pressure there.
There you go. There's our talk of being old.
Just like Star Trek, which is one of the oldest running TV series that there is. So we'll come back to Star Trek.
Doctor Who would be its equal, maybe, give or take.
Yeah, right. Yeah, give or take. Yeah, and things like Emmerdale and certain other long-running soap operas and things. What are you drinking today, James? I'm on the Earl Grey.
Apple
Keeping
Tango.
it Star Trek.
Ooh. Apple Tango. Bulk bought Apple Tango.
Oof, nice. B&M?
No.
Would it be your non-disclosed place of work?
Potentially.
Yeah.
So, this episode, what did you think? Let's actually talk Star Trek.
You know what? Yet again, I enjoyed it. I actually thought that this is the first one where I thought there was a bit of a weakness.
See, I think I preferred this to episode. I don't know. It's only episode 3, isn't it? I really enjoyed the whole lot.
I mean, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I still very much enjoyed it. And when I say weakness, I think it's only because I think that the whole thing so far, like all 13 episodes, if you include season 1, have been so strong that when something doesn't quite hit,
so what didn't hit for you?
Tom Paris.
See,
I thought was okay. I think the problem is that Riker is so good.
Yeah.
Riker is the most Riker has ever been.
Thing is, I didn't mind Tom Paris because he's just there to serve the C plot, which I very much enjoyed.
I thoroughly enjoyed the C plot. Don't get me wrong. That
Like
wasn't
Boimler being trapped in the Jeffries tubes and eventually hallucinating the Tom Paris plate is better than any of the actual Tom Paris bits.
Although I did kind of like the Tom, like I liked it. It just like I don't know.
Maybe you just don't like Tom Paris.
It, you know what? It almost felt like, we've got a Voyager character in. Voyager was the least favourite of the triad, we'll say, of TNG, DS9, and Voyager. It was almost deliberate, almost slightly meta, in that like this guest will be the weakest guest in a way, and so it was like. I enjoyed it. I liked it. There were some lovely little bits, like when Boimler popped out, and again spoilers, towards the end, and he's all messed up and looks just messed up enough that like Paris is like, Kazon, and then wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And Boimler was as Boimler as he gets.
It was a nice,
well written.
It was a nice solo Boimler story. You don't. Like, it was nice having him just off on his own, kind of trying to get the ship to recognise him, right?
But again, I mean, I think that's actually quite a nice through line from the first two episodes.
It's also very Boimler-like to not be recognised by the ship. And I like that we see the ensign from the last episode trying to offer to help him with the door.
Yes, because they very easily could have just written that character off completely.
Yeah, but he's there, and it's like, let me help. I can carry you over the door like a bride.
So that was good. The B line, then. Should we talk about the B line?
Yes, because I actually think the A line is probably my. Actually, no, I like the A line as well. But yeah, the B line is the chief of security from season 1 is back.
Yeah.
Unexplained. Because, the bridge crew come back to life, and that's just how it is.
Yeah. Which is one of the main parts of the plot. The bridge crew come back to life, but don't ask them how. And before this, before we started recording, me and James were talking about how sometimes Star Trek goes a bit more fantastic and a little bit more mythical, and how when Star Trek does decide to do it, Star Trek goes for it.
There is an exception to that rule. It should be called The Bridge Crew Come Back to Life, unless your name's Tasha Yar.
Ooh. Except she came back to life multiple times.
No, she didn't. An alternate universe version of her, or a past version of her, was around, but Tasha Yar didn't come back to life.
An alternate universe version, and her daughter who looked enough like her.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even an alternate universe; it was an alternate timeline.
Which could all be described as a to Lower Decks crew, right? Maybe she's back.
Yeah, exactly. So in this, you do get a slight peek behind the curtain of like actually even within the Star Trek lore what
because Rutherford wants to know how he's back.
Because obviously Rutherford has guilt because the security officer died saving Rutherford.
And it becomes this running gag that you can't ask a bridge crew member how they came back from the dead. Turns out it's dark.
It's very dark.
And we don't find out as viewers.
No, but we do get little teases.
Yeah.
And I did feel like the way that it was described, I did wonder whether it was a reference to something, because it did feel like it was too deliberately written. Again, it's something that like neither of us, believe it or not, are actually quite nerdy enough to get every single reference, as much as we try. And it did feel like a reference. It did feel like something was,
And then our A plot puts Mariner and Tendi together.
Yes.
Which hasn't happened before, which becomes part of a story that it's never happened before.
But they've never teamed up together.
Yeah. And it goes wrong.
And because they question, why haven't we been put together in this, that, and the other? And it's a very... Obviously, it was quite in a way, I suppose, a meta storyline for the writers of... Like, yes, of course we've got to pair these people up at some point, but like, why haven't we, or why will we? Or
get to see some Orion culture. It's a fun story.
I think it's also something that we could potentially talk back on when we do a future series of Are Video Game Movies Good? Actually,
yeah.
Because one of the things we were going to talk about was the influence of video game narrative on film and TV in this case. And I think actually that's one of those things that, like, when you've got the ability to choose your loadout of companions, that, like, say in the Mass Effect trilogy or something.
I'm not sure you're really... I think you're grasping straws here.
No, but I mean, there have to be combinations. There have to be combinations.
What we're describing is traditional sitcom pairings. Like, it happens in all... Like, it's not... This isn't video game influence seeping into Lower Decks. This is just what sitcoms do.
Oh, no, but I think it's a parallel. I think it's an interesting parallel to, because we, as players, we must make decisions in those situations.
We pick the characters we like the most.
Exactly, yeah. And I think actually maybe writers, to a certain extent, probably
pair characters up who they've written chemistry for in the past, as in the reason it's generally usually Mariner and Boimler, Tendi and Rutherford. Not always. We've had Boimler and Tendi. That was on the medical ship in the previous season. But sitcom, any ensemble sitcom, specifically American ensemble sitcoms, tend to do it.
Oh yeah, they will mix it up. They will definitely.
British sitcoms do it less because a lot of British sitcoms rarely ever leave the room.
Yeah,
it's the truth of it. Like, you don't really have to pair characters up because they very rarely ever leave the main setting.
Situation they're in. Yeah. It literally is a situation comedy in the case of British ones. Yeah. No, I think it was a
overall good episode though. Have a moral of a story. Even big cats like boxes.
Even big cats like boxes, because we did see a little bit more of the Doctor's culture.
Yes.
And as you said, a little bit more of Orion culture.
Yeah.
Which has been nice in recent years. I've really enjoyed the expansion of the idea of the Orions. I like the fact that it is a female-dominated society, and that they use their sexuality for their own gains.
Spinning off a touch of as this episode, but first off, I assume we both liked this episode. Yep. So we're still with Lower Decks being good. So spinning off, I'd still say
it's the strongest of the new Star Trek.
I'd still agree.
Which is saying something, because obviously season 2 is where Disco really kicked off. But I think it's the only one so far that's had a truly strong first season.
Then discussing Voyager though, as a Saturday tie into Voyager. Recently, the intro sequence to Star Trek Prodigy has been shown.
It has, yes.
Which is a Voyager-like ship sailing through a lot of stars.
Although, because Janeway's a character in it, isn't she?
Yes, she is giving them missions, I believe. But something that I noticed made me think, when is this set?
Go on. I don't think I spotted it.
You see a comm badge. And it sure as hell looks like Future Discovery comm badges.
Oh, does it now?
Let me... I'm not going to be able to find it to bring it up, but yeah, it certainly looks like a Future future Discovery Con badge.
Yeah.
I may be wrong. It might not be, but it did to me. But then Janeway doesn't look that old.
But then there's no saying what happened to, like, where Janeway is and what Janeway does. Or, like, she may have even found a way of talking to people through time. I mean, obviously, half of
Maybe it's a Janeway hologram.
Could be.
I know it's about a bunch of kids who steal a ship.
So I mean, who's to say it isn't like Janeway is now the ship's computer or something?
How voyagery it looked, and is that? And once I saw that, I was like, "Is this the Voyager we saw in like ship style and design?"
Yeah, I get you. I don't know. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair. It's got to be difficult for us to watch anyway.
It's on Nickelodeon, isn't it?
Well, it's a Nickelodeon Paramount. I can't see Amazon or Netflix buying it.
Which would be a shame.
That said, Paramount Plus does launch here next year, which is going to make watching Star Trek even more fun. Because Amazon will still probably have the rights they've bought for Picard and Lower Decks, and Netflix will still have the rights they bought for Discovery, and they will put all the new stuff on just their own service. So you're going to need 3 subscription services possibly to watch Star Trek in the UK.
Possibly.
Depends on how long lasting those deals are.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I suppose it also depends on like how smart Paramount are about it.
Yeah, like you've seen stuff slowly drop.
Are Paramount gonna Warner it and just kind of pretend that the United Kingdom doesn't matter?
Because as Disney, well, no, Paramount is launching over here.
Yeah.
As Disney Plus launched Star over here.
Yeah.
You've seen the various things like dropping off of Prime.
Yeah.
That was on Prime, like X-Files and stuff has gone off Prime now, and it's just on. There was a while whether it was on both, and now it's elapsed off Prime and it's just on Disney Plus. So obviously, Star is their way to have some of the more Fox-based programs and stuff on the subscription service in the countries that aren't America. So obviously in America they have Hulu and Disney Plus, so they keep Disney Plus as the family-oriented one and Hulu as the adult-oriented one.
Yes.
But for the rest of the world, they've basically launched an extra channel on Disney Plus. It doesn't cost anymore. By channel, I just mean
it's just
additional...
a button to press, essentially. And that's where the X-Files is.
Yeah.
So,
which makes Disney Plus an even better service in the rest of the world than it is in America, arguably. But
True. But then, I mean, that's not uncommon.
I would say Disney Plus now is a service that's worth getting, even if you necessarily aren't just a Disney, Marvel, Star Wars fan. Like before, it was Disney Plus was only really worth it if you wanted one of those 3 franchises, right? But now there's a lot more stuff on it.
I think it's certainly
cool things like that new Hulu original, Only Murders in the Building, with Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez. Watched the first episode last night. It's amazing, and that's just straight to Disney Plus in the UK.
Oh, that's all right then. I think it's certainly going to get to that point where, for most of us, it'll be a case of having your core
and then the ones you subscribe to for the month you want to watch something on it. Yeah. Like with a new Star Trek. Like, Paramount is the kind of thing that I would probably subscribe to when a new Star Trek series is coming out and then drop. But hey ho.
Yeah. Because I mean, for something like this, for Prodigy, like I'd happily pay a sensible monthly fee for it for one month, and then
probably £8 a month. Right? That's probably what it'll be.
Maybe.
That's what generally that £8 is kind of settled on as what subscription services are. I feel.
Yeah.
Some are cheaper, but £8 seems to be the standard. But yeah, on that note, I think we'll say draw for you. It's been a bit of a hectic episode, admittedly. We've been a bit all over the place. But I didn't have to go and answer the door. I thought I was going to have to leave halfway through the episode because I was expecting a parcel.
Fair enough.
Box of manga that you might hear me talking about on Comics Unmasked at some point.
Good.
New episode of Comics Unmasked went up this week, so on Wednesday just gone. So if you
like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, if you like comics, give that a listen. This week it is just me and Connor talking about Substack, which is a subscription newsletter that has given a bunch of comic creators grants to just make comics.
All right. That's
as long as they use their newsletter service as a premium model. It's interesting and has interesting connotations for the industry. And we get into the weeds with it a little bit on this week's Comics Unmasked.
Fair enough. I might finally start doing something Gran Turismo content-y soon.
Nice.
I hit my one of the trophies I was looking for. I needed 91 victories to get the same number as Michael Schumacher trophy. And I got it last week. Slightly underwhelming.
Yeah.
It was
because the number is 91. So it just doesn't feel like
No, it wasn't even that. It was because like I've had to race so hard and like learn and like try.
Yeah.
And then like the victory came by accident, in all honesty. It was on one of the daily races. It was on the more basic of the daily race as well. A short circuit with essentially hot hatches. I think I qualified fourth. The two guys in first place were so much faster than me in qualifying.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind it was only a 57-second track anyway. So they were streaks ahead. There was no way I should have won that race. Not a chance. But the two in the front, they just battled each other too much, made a mistake, and I managed to get ahead and stay ahead. It was like, but yeah, it felt a bit underwhelming. So, but I'm gonna have to start smashing it soon, because the big one now is reach level 50, and Gran Turismo is one of those wonderful games where every level you need more XP to reach the next level than you did for the previous level.
Well, that makes sense. That's progression.
But it gets... No, I know, but I mean, like, there's a bigger gap between each level.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah. But the thing is that, like, I'm on level 44 now, quite close to level 45. To reach level 50, I need more XP for those next 5 levels than I already have to get 44 levels.
Yeah.
So...
That just makes sense to me as a leveling system.
I think it's a bit.
Because in theory, you should be doing harder things that brings in higher XP as
not
you
high
get.
enough. Not high enough. There have been a few videos done by some of the top GT drivers that do YouTube and stuff like that even they don't have the platinum because it means grinding so hard. Like they've got double the race wins that I've got, and etc. I'm gonna get it though.
Well,
I'm getting that platinum.
On the bombshell that Matt maybe lacks the dedication to Gran Turismo that he so often shows, we shall say to our guys, and we'll see you next week.
It's only fair we slander each other once. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Live long and prosper, everyone.
See you next week,
James,
guys.
throw it up. Come on.
Nah, I've not got it this week. There we go.
Oh, nice.